Hey, what's up? It's Latoria doing a quick video. I am really moving around here and I came to a stopping point because I wanted to make a video. Um, I am super excited about what's going on this week. I just got back from Houston. I'm super excited. My team is pumped up. We are energetic. I know I sound crazy. My voice is starting to go a little haywire because I've probably been hollering and screaming at our TLC event that we took. We took a group of people down to Houston to really watch and listen and learn. And we learned from some heavy hitters within Total Life Changes. And right now, I wanted to do a video because I am starting my 90-day challenge. I'm getting ready with my resolution drops, my NutriBurst, and my ISOT. And I'm really ready to hit this leg of weight loss. I have lost about 80 pounds and I gained a little bit of it back. So I am ready to hit the last of my little weight loss. My victory lap is right now. So I wanted to do a video anyway about my weight loss journey that is taking place and the journey that is getting ready to reboot right now. I started today. I weighed myself. I'm at 100 and I think it was 97 pounds, 0.4. I'm going to post a picture in a minute. But I'm doing this because, you know, I've been really just overwhelmed physically over the last few years. And about a year ago, I discovered Total Life Changes and its products. I really got back into working out and getting my body and my health together. So I'm really excited about what's taking place in my life right now. And my team is super excited. I have a client, he's well over, I think he's about 600 pounds. And he's super excited because he just recently lost 28 pounds in 30 days. He started his challenge last month. And he has motivated me. He has inspired me. He can walk and he moves around in a wheelchair frequently. But he's motivated me to get restarted because we're taking our life back. And we're not just selling products, but we're selling time. You know, anybody who's morbidly obese or obese, I was 263 pounds 1 year ago. I'm currently 197. If you are someone who has any type of weight struggles or weight problems, you know that when something comes off of you, you not only feel better, you think clearer, you feel more motivated to do the things that you really wanted to set out and do anyway. That has nothing to do with weight loss, has nothing to do with money. Just to be able to play with your kids, to be able to fly on a flight and have vacations and just different things. You're able to have a life that really you feel like it was stolen from you just because you didn't have good information. You didn't have knowledge. You might have had some genetics that worked against you. You might have had something happen. And so I'm super excited about what my team is doing. And I can't say it enough. The reason why I want to do a video is not just because I'm doing a 90-day challenge and today is day one, but I wanted to give my why. My why is so far beyond me. And it's like, if your why doesn't make sense to you, your vision and your goal is not going to work for you. What you're doing is not going to be as powerful because your why is not there. And so I wanted to really post a video about my why. Sorry, I'm moving my hand around a lot. I did not feel like pulling out a selfie stick, but my why ultimately is because I do this not only for my family, but I do it because I'm inspired by young kids that I work with every single day. For the last 15 years, I have worked at a group home, an emergency shelter. My family, when I was about 17 years old, opened up a youth emergency shelter. And at the time, I really didn't understand why they opened up a youth emergency shelter. But a background about my parents is my mother was a social worker for the state of Kansas, and my dad was a corrections officer for the state of Kansas as well. So both of them worked with people who were in poverty, people who have had some type of mental issues and struggles, people who have come from abusive homes and abusive cases and had abusive cases and gone through the legal system, children who were ultimately removed from the home, as well as men who were removed from their homes. So growing up, I got to see firsthand what was happening within the state of Kansas, within our community. And I saw it firsthand because of the type of employment that my parents had. Well, at 17 years old, my parents decided to take a family home the house that we lived in up until I was, probably like, I think I was a sophomore in high school. They decided to move out of that home. And first, let me back up. They decided to downsize our home, and they purchased another home that was a little bit smaller. And they purchased this home to be smaller because they saved up money And they saved that money because they wanted to open up a shelter for children who were in need of care, people who were being abused and neglected. So they ended up opening up this home. And my first job out of high school was working at this shelter with kids. My first client, I remember, was an 8-year-old girl who was heavily medicated. And she was so medicated she had a stroke. She had a stroke, and I was able to watch this young lady go from vibrant to essentially just unable to do much. She would slobber on herself. She couldn't think. She couldn't function. So it became so bad that I had to go to school with her, elementary school with her. She was having to have me wipe her mouth, help her write, help her be a kid. And not just a regular kid, but just a kid in school. And there were times I would have to take her, different places with me, whether it was just to the park or different things. And she really couldn't function. She couldn't be a kid. And so that was my first experience working with kids myself. As I began to develop in it as an adult, I had health issues. I was going back and forth from the doctor. They were trying to diagnose me with cancer and all kinds of things. I've had all kinds of physical ailments, and I gained so much weight watching these kids grow up. She was just my first case, but over the course of, I would say, the last 15 years, I've probably seen 1,000 kids grow up. And my parents are getting to the point where they're older now, and they can't always have this house and be functioning, keeping this house functional by themselves. And so being a worker there, it's kind of hard for me to be like, I need extra money, or I'm able to do this, or I'm able to do that. But I came across Total Life Changes a year ago. And I came across them a year ago, and I said, I'm going to decide to get healthy and be a better version of a person for myself. And as I became more in tune with myself and getting my own physical body, my spiritual body, my mental body, all in order, I began to see these kids differently. And before I did this change, before a year ago, I was just like, I'm just another staff there. I'm just another person that works with these kids, because that's just what I do. I've always known the same thing. But over the course of a year, as I'm developing myself and becoming a better person, I see these kids differently. And sorry, but it's hard to watch kids be removed from their household because somebody wanted to violate them, or somebody wanted to misuse their trust and their innocence. It's hard watching kids grow up in this state to become people who ultimately were people who my father had to work with, people who became a part of the criminal justice system. And so I have a passion for not only children, but I have a passion for adults who struggle with life in general. And so as I'm on these products and getting my own life together, I'm seeing people differently because I see myself differently. And so I ultimately do this because I want to keep my mother and my father's legacy alive. I want to be able to say, I can purchase a house, I can maintain a house, and I can run a facility for people who are in need of care. Not just children, not just adults, but people and families who are in need of care. People who are struggling not only with weight and self-esteem and, issues that way, but people who have visions and goals and desire to have businesses, desire to have ultimately success in their own right. I want to help people in that aspect. And so I chose to become a part of Total Life Changes because of the success stories that I was able to see on this level. But when you take it and you open it to be something so much bigger than yourself, you can utilize the resources and the tools that are given within this company and given within these products and really provide help for other people. So right now, I'm working with, different people from different walks of life, trying to help them understand how to use the products, how to properly detox, how to properly lose weight, how to properly get their life for themselves, and set goals and visions and all those things, and lose weight And so it's not just a 90-day challenge to lose weight. It's a 90-day challenge to prove to myself that the goals that I have, the ultimate vision that I have to be a business person, an entrepreneur for myself, that is not in vain. That is not in vain at all. And even if it's just me, a matter of me losing a few pounds, if it's a matter of me changing my zip code, if it's a matter of me being able to invest in a business and in a company that is successful, I'm going to do that. I do this for more than my son. I do this for more than my parents. I do this for more than my siblings. I do this more than for me. I do this for my community. And so I do this so that the kids that I'm able to come in contact now, if they have other kids and they if they continue to repeat this cycle, that people that they come in contact are people like me. I'm saying that right out loud. People like me. There are people in the system that misuse and abuse these kids, even when they come out of abusive homes. And it's not fair. It's not right. And they should come in contact with people like my family. People who chose to open up their homes for people who really needed help. People who really are tired of struggling, tired of being abused, tired of being misrepresented, tired of being forsaken, tired of being broke down and not having a way out. Because I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like. More than just observation. I know what it feels like because I've been there. I know what it feels like to not get proper medical care. I know what it feels like to be subjected to a system, subjected to infrastructures within cities. I come from a place where we have had water infiltrated by a chemical called creosote. And creosote causes many diseases. My grandfather died of cancer because that company chose to put poison in the water. And they didn't tell people about it. I know what Flint feels like because I live with it every day. I live with it personally every day. My father lives with it personally every day. We know what it feels like to be poisoned. We know what it feels like to not get proper medical care. We know what it feels like to be black and looked over. We know what it feels like. So my why within TLC is not because I'm trying to push somebody to lose weight. It's not because I'm trying to push somebody to sell more products. I don't care what nobody else is doing within TLC and whatever their why is. My why is because ultimately I want to help my community. Ultimately, I want to help the people I see every single day, day in and day out, smiling and so broken, so dysfunctional that nobody cares to look at them. Nobody cares to talk to them. Everybody dismisses them. Because they think these are kids who are just destructive. They think these are kids that can't be helped. They think these are kids that can't be saved. That's why I do this. That's my why. So my 90-day challenge is not, it's not for me. It's not for my son. It's for them. It's for them. I tell people about how to make a total life change to inspire them. Because when I go into work every single weekend, which I have done for the last 15 years, even though I became an insurance agent, even though I went to college for psychology, and I live an hour and about 15 minutes, give or take how I'm driving. Don't judge me. I live an hour and 15 minutes from the shelter. For the last 15 years, if I worked a 40-hour job and I went to school for 18 hours, I've worked a 40-hour job, I have my own child. I stop every single weekend from Friday night at 10 o'clock until Monday morning. I work with those kids day in and day out. Not because people think, oh, you just do it for church. We, the staff at that house, are not regular staff. We are family-oriented people. We work as a family. We work as people who rely and depend. Everybody in that facility that works at that shelter has been there for years. And the reason why we have not walked away, despite we are teachers, despite we are parents to other people, we have to care for our own family. Even though we are there, even though we do other things, we are there because we choose to be there. We choose to show up, and we choose to be a part of those kids' lives. Even when we getting cussed out, even when we getting hit on, even when we getting spit at, even when we are called every single name in the book, we choose to stay there because those kids matter. Those kids deserve attention from somebody. Those kids deserve to see a stable, not only a stable black family, a stable Hispanic family, a stable white family. They see stable families come in and day out. Kids interact with our own personal family so that they can feel included. And so I want to be able to continue the legacy from my mother and my father. I don't want anything that they ever have done to be in vain. My brothers and sisters don't really care to do anything with the business, and that's fine. That's fine. But as for me, that's my why. I do it for my mom. I do it for my dad. I do it for my own child. But ultimately, I do it for the kids that have nobody. The kids that don't want to be looked at. The kids that are simply just kids. That's why I do what I do. And so you join my business or not, I just ask for you to watch me shrink. Watch me change. Watch me be who I'm supposed to be. This is my first real true blog. I've posted other videos that probably are really irrelevant to anything going on in the world. But this is real shit. People are being poisoned. People are being abused. People are being neglected. Kids are out here hungry and struggling. We came off of spring break. Do you know how many kids didn't get to eat for spring break? Do you know how many kids we are called day in and day out just to be asked, can kids sleep on the floor? We know you don't have room. We know you would be out of state compliance if you take these kids, but can you take just one more kid for the night? This baby ain't got no bed. The social workers is calling, they getting laid off, they getting fired, not because they are doing something wrong or illegal, but because they are doing things that the kids need, and for the state, it's not compliant. But they are like, this baby need a bed. Can this baby get a bed? This baby ain't had no bed. This parent ain't give their baby no bed. They ain't giving their kids no food. Y'all just open your door for a little while so this kid can get a meal? And I've had kids even ask me, am I going to eat today? If you ain't ever been asked by a child, am I going to eat today? You don't understand. You don't understand how real it is in this world. You don't understand how hard it is, because we up here arguing over some dumbass Trump. We over here arguing about shit don't even matter. But kids is out here hurting. This is the next generation of people. They out here hurting because somebody ain't taking time out just to focus on them and make sure that they mental health. Some of these kids ain't never had a daggone hug. They see me hug my son and tell my son I love him, and they ain't never had that. Have you ever seen a 15-year-old boy put out of their house because their father died? The father wanted a son so bad that he adopted a child. And when the father died, the mother didn't want nothing to do with him. And so the mother put him back in the system. That raggedy heifer put him back in the system because she didn't want to love him. And to have him come to our house just to say thank you for caring about me. It wasn't that we did anything particularly special. It was just we did something simple. We made sure he went to church. We made sure that he had played on a basketball team in high school. He never played any sports in high school. And everybody else here taking this stuff like it's just nothing. You can see your kids day in and day out. I see my son every single day. Ain't not a day that goes by that I wouldn't do nothing for that boy. But there are kids that go in and out every single day where people don't even want to look at them. Their own parents don't want to look at them. That's my why. So even though this, like I said, is a 90-day challenge for me to lose weight, for me to thrive within total life changes. Yep. I'm selling the products. Yep. So if you see me, I might ask you, do you want some of my Ace or tea? I might ask you, do you want some Nutriburst? I might ask you, what are your goals? What are your visions? What do you desire for yourself? I might ask you, how are you releasing negative energy? I might ask you, do you meditate? I might ask you, do you pray? I might ask you some other questions that have nothing to do with that particular part of my life, but that's why I do it. And I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't hand it back in. I have worked several other positions. Like I said, I've had my own insurance agency, but I would sacrifice my own insurance agency's success so I could go work 40 hours on a weekend. I would go work 24 hours, two 12-hour shifts back to back, not get any sleep during the day because I got to play with my own child, make sure my own child eat, make sure my own child get a hug. I make sure I do what I got to do. But at the end of the day, I will have released success in other aspects of my life to still make sure that those kids that I've been sitting with for the last 15 years stay having somebody consistently at the household. And if you ever have done any type of community service work, if you've ever had somebody come back to you and say thank you, that is the payoff. That is the payoff. If you've ever seen somebody lose 28 pounds in 30 days and they say, man, I couldn't even lose 28 pounds in 5 years if I tried. But then to come back and say thank you, I'm grateful. I'm moved. I'm feeling better about who I am and what I'm doing because somebody else's life has been impacted. You know, this is really kind of like a rambling. I didn't mean to get too deep. But it's real out here, man. It's real out here. A year ago, I was 263 pounds. I left my job as an insurance agent for AAA because I was being harassed. And I didn't know how to handle it. So I had 8, and I had gained about, say, 40 pounds in about 3 months. And I started having heart palpitations. I started having shortness of breath. I could barely get to and from point A to B, which maybe was 100 feet, without struggling for breath. I was at a place where I just needed something. I started doing acupuncture. I started working out daily. I started doing so many things, but it wasn't until I detoxified myself and began to really write down the things that bothered me and the negative energy that I was carrying and trying to hold on to. It wasn't until I released all those metals, toxins, and negativity. It wasn't until I released all that I started to see change. And I had a moment where I went to Japan with my mom and my aunts and all them and my son. We went to Japan, and I went to one of the temples, and I gave a prayer back to my grandfather. My grandfather was the biggest influence in my family's life, from my mother and my father. My other grandparents, they were also huge influences because they also worked in community-based systems as well, helping people. And but I gave homage back to my ancestors, and I told them that I just wanted to be a better version of me. So when I came back, I took total life changes seriously. I took my health seriously. I took my mentality serious. I took my spirituality serious, and I really dove in deep. And it wasn't that I worked out every day. It wasn't that I did, these strenuous exercises. I did do insanity for a while, but I did it once a week. But it wasn't until I really got clear about who I am and what I wanted that my life started to change. And so I am now sitting here today, starting a new 90-day challenge at 197 pounds, almost a complete year later from when I started the products. And I'm still keeping the weight off. And my mind is more focused and more determined and more ambitious and more driven and more I take no shit. Sorry, Mom. I know you're going to watch this video, but sorry. I'm at a point now where I'm so focused and I'm so clear on who I am and what I want that nobody, nothing. It can stand in my way. And I want to work with people who have that desire. I want to work with people who have a desire to say, I want to be ambitious. I want to be focused. I want to be determined. And I want to be a person that nothing can stand in my way. I just don't know how. I don't know how with my weight loss. I don't know how with my mindset. I don't know how. And I'm just a regular woman. I'm just a regular person wanting to help somebody else. I'm wanting to show you what I'm doing, that I can make income to where I don't have to work Monday through Friday, and I can only work at the group home because I choose to. I choose to work there. It's not that I have to work. I choose to be a part of these people's lives because that's my heart. That's my heart. My parents didn't raise me to be a social worker or corrections officer or somebody who works within this. They raised a person who wants to genuinely help people. They raised a person who genuinely sees people for who they are and where they are at. And that's how I talk to you. So if you're wanting to just talk, if you're wanting to just be, if you're just wanting to be real, if you're just wanting to get help with losing weight, if you're wanting to have help with income, if you're wanting to have help, just, you got kids, man, and your kids are stressing you out, and you ain't trying to hit your kids, you ain't trying to stop your kids out, you ain't trying to run away from your kids, but if you just have kids and you just want to know how to talk to them better, inbox me. Find me on social media. Whatever it is, because for real, if it all went away tomorrow, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy doing what I do. I live the life as if I already won the lottery. So if you don't buy Total Life Changes, if you don't join a 90-day challenge, cool. I'm happy where I'm at. And I just want to help somebody be happy where they at. I want to help somebody live a life better than what they got now. I want to help somebody just understand, but I want to talk to willing people. I don't want to talk to somebody who's just full of negativity and don't have any ambition or any thought to change. I don't want to help nobody like that, because then I'm wasting my time, and I have no time to be wasted. I just want to talk to people who are genuine about who they are and where they want to go. I heard something while I was in Houston the other day, and I want to repeat it correctly, but I was listening to Mrs. Twyla Porter. She's a global ambassador with Total Life Changes, which means she makes a lot of money, okay? She talks to a lot of people. But she said something that was very vital. And I want to make sure it was her, but I believe it was her. But she said something that was very vital. She said, I may not know where I'm going, but I know I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be in the same spot anymore. I know I'm ready to move, and I'm ready to move forward. I'm not trying to move backwards. I'm ready to develop myself forward. I'm ready to grow. I'm looking for people who want to grow. I want to talk to people who are ready for change in the most positive way possible. I'm looking for those people. I want those people that if direction is given, because this is how I am in Total Life Changes, at the shelter, and in life. If I'm given direction because I am being mentored by you, or I'm talking to you because I know that your advice or your word is good, I will follow your direction. I'm looking for people who can follow directions. It's a duplication system. It's a duplication process. If you want change, I'm not asking you to go out here and be somebody you're not. I'm telling you right now, if I say to you, write down what you're struggling with and let it go. Flush it down the toilet. I need you to say, you know what? I will really look at myself, the core self of me, and really address those issues, so that when you are detoxifying, that when you are really letting go of the things that have been packed into your body, into your spirit, into your mental, into your environment, when you start really looking at that and you start really being accepting and not denying your issues, you become a place where you are moldable.